Hello, Juliana. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm really great. So, our last session we discussed breaking bad habits and substituting.
Yes.
And what did you find yourself substituting for your distractions that you have?
Instead of using my phone for conversation, I just use my homework and do studying more.
Homework and studying more?
hmm
How long did you study more?
About 30 more minutes than I used to.
30 more minutes?
Yeah.
And how effective do you think that 30 more minutes were?
Helps me memorize and be able to categorize each subject.
That's really good. That's really good. So you see how time that you personally take out can actually help out with your academic
Yes.
grades. That's good. And plus, you seen some of your grades go up, right?
hmm
How many classes? Because you had three. So which ones went up? I know your English went up.
Yeah.
What about your math?
Math went up about an A plus.
An A plus.
Yeah.
It's good. How about your history?
I went up and getting closer to an A.
Closer to an A.
Yeah.
So it's just time taken,
hmm
right? So one thing that's really great. I'm very happy that you're taking these steps forward and you're using these tools to help you. Um, but one thing I do want to talk to you about is how your goal setting and your bad habits, you substituting your bad habits, can help you out with communication skills as well. It all kind of comes together. Since you are a couple of weeks, well, days away from graduation, if you say it like that, or transferring. Um, yeah, transferring, right?
Yeah.
Other student, sorry. Um, so, how do you think your goal setting is going?
I think it's going pretty well than before.
What's well?
I'm more focused and concentrated on what I want
What you want, which is
to be able to transfer into a traditional high school.
transfer to the traditional. Do you feel like you're prepared?
I feel like I'm getting there each day.
You're getting there each day, so you don't feel like you're there 100%, but you're making strides to get to where you need to be.
Yes.
Because your overall goal is to
Graduate
graduate and go to
HBCU,
right Fisk and
Spelman.
Texas. All right, so we know that it's important to break these bad habits because you don't want to be a procrastinator when you do get to your college studies. You don't want to be up writing 10-page paper overnight, correct?
Yeah.
So we know that's been the past. I know I've done it. It's not a good feeling.
It is not.
So
It is not.
it is not. And then we talked about well, with your goal setting, it keeps you on almost like it keeps you on a plan. You know, with that plan comes along other things within life that you have to use, which is communication. So when you think of communication skills, what do you think of?
I think of being able to talk to someone without having an attitude or being able to understand their justification.
Say that last part one more time for
To
me.
be able to understand their justification.
Understand their justification. So how do you respond to questions and comments?
Um, Depending on the comment, it varies,
It varies.
and depending on the question as well.
Well, can you explain that a little bit, depending on the comment? Give me like an example.
If I don't agree with a specific comment about something that has to do with some politics, then I get kind of angry.
What about in the everyday life at school, dealing with friends and foes?
I'm aggressive towards what certain people say if I don't agree with it.
How about adults? Because I know you do. You conduct yourself in business settings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're looking for an internship. So how do you conduct yourself if someone said something that you really don't like?
I try not to get too assertive about my answer.
Right. So, what do you think is the difference between communicating with in a business setting and just amongst peers?
And when it comes to peers, you're more free to say what you want. Versus in a business setting, you must be careful of what you say and how you say it so it doesn't come out wrong.
Do you think because we have a little, you're probably a little bit more, your guard is a little bit more down with peers,
Yeah.
so you feel a little bit more freedom to kind of be yourself. So, do you ever find yourself, maybe I should just be not necessarily professional, but be more mature in the situation when people are making negative comments when it comes to your peers?
Yeah. I try to be a little nicer about how I say things, even though sometimes they come out rude or mean or aggressive.
Rude, mean, or aggressive? But it's something that you're working on.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to do is give you a couple of scenarios.
Okay.
Now, when I talk about communication or persuasive communication, now persuasive, you may think of writing a paper, and trying to get someone to agree with you. But some of the tools that you use in persuasive communication, you can also uh, use in written communication and in verbal communication. Do you understand what I mean by verbal communication and written communication?
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me an example for both?
Talking and writing, or verbal is being able to speak to someone versus writing is handwritten, like a business letter.
Right, and that's you really hit it. So when I say written, sometimes you may see like in maybe through emails, or like for a boss, you may have written directions that they want you to follow to get the task done. So some of the tools that you may have to use are clarification, speaking clearly, and like you said, justification. So those are really good. So I'm gonna give you a couple scenarios, and I want you to respond right now of how you would do it.
Okay.
So you get an email from your boss, and they use all caps letters about a task that you should have completed but you didn't. How do you respond to it?
I apologize for being absent-minded to the task and get right on it.
So when you know what, so what are some things that would kind of draw you back to just apologize?
For me, not doing it when it should have been done, and me being not really a multitasker and doing other things first and forgetting to do what was needed to be done.
Right, so it's kind of prioritizing to write things down for yourself. So what I mean by that is within the email that you got, that you were sent. So you saw the caps letters, and what's the first thing that you think of?
That he's yelling and is very upset.
That he's yelling. So that's something important that a lot of people don't know. It's like when someone puts them all in caps letters, they're yelling over in writing. Right? And we know that makes people nervous, or they're kind of like, whoa, like what did I do wrong? And you have to respond. Sometimes the best thing is to not respond depending on the situation, like you said. But in a business setting, I think it's great that you said, I'm going to apologize and let them know I'm going to get to that task and that it will be done. That's good. So that's more of a written communication. Now, another one, let's go to verbal.
Okay.
You're talking to a college advisor. You just got into Fisk University over the phone before you even get a chance to go. So you're talking to them over, and they tell you, you know what, hey, we didn't get your SAT scores. So, and if you don't get it to us within, let's see, 2 weeks, we're gonna have to drop your admission. How do you respond?
I would let them know that I will make 2 copies for me and for them, and ask for a fax number and fax it to them or mail it to their address.
Right. So one thing I did notice that you were actually calm when you were saying it. So it's almost like you need to know what tone to use with people. Because you figure they have something that you want, so it may be in your best interest to be calm about it, fix what's happening, and move forward.
Yes.
Okay. Written task. Uh, Written communication. Let's go back. Let's one more. You have written instructions from your English teacher to complete an assignment to make it to a traditional school. And they say, hey, I didn't get the assignment. What do you do?
I asked to see through each class's paper to see if I could spot mine, and because it could be misplaced within one of their other classes, and if not, just to rewrite it or type it back out or just reprint it and turn it in.
Well, we know that you had an incident where the teacher did not have it on site. So how do you handle that?
Redo it and turn it in and make a copy for me and for them to make sure I date it for today's date.
So you just keep it between you and that teacher. Okay. If you have to.
Yes.
Right? So you have to take it a step further. Because we know things happen. So it's also keeping calm and how you respond to things. Well, these things are very important because they're real world situations, things that do happen, and you're a couple months away from actually dealing with it on your own. And you know, a lot of kids don't, students, because you're almost an adult, they don't have those skills to actually go out into the real world and process information, be able to use skills that they learn. And sometimes it's not a skill that you really learn because you figure you're graded off of paperwork, you know? But there's different aspects to things. So I know you have one more public speaking class coming up, and these are some things that you may that you're going to address, different other than knowing how to speak, but you're going to be dealing with real world information.
Mm-hmm.
So a part of that is, you know, your goal setting. How do you respond when you're conducting business within your goal setting? You know, how do you carry yourself? Are you mature enough to handle certain situations? And then you also have, you know, you're breaking your bad habits or substituting them. Because it's hard to break a bad habit. You have to replace it with something to steer you away from it.
Yeah.
So these are all things that you actually have to learn that are good, that's going to get you to college. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So from it, what do you think the most that you have gotten from the sessions?
Being able to focus more and not relying on my phone or television to keep me up and wait when I can just stay at school and finish my homework and be able to go to bed on time or early.
All right, those are in 3 weeks? These are in 3 weeks, you got a chance to get these things done. So I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you. So I just hope that you continue these skills because our sessions this will be our last session, but it doesn't mean that I won't follow up on you throughout your remaining time here. So I'm very happy that you are using and that they're being very effective, that your grades are going up. So I'll say thank you, Juliana.
Oh, thank you too.
All right. Thank you.
Oh.